Why losing interest changes everything. Here's the truth. She senses you've completely ceased caring. It sparks something. Deep within her, suddenly the control shifts, leaving her to wonder what happened wrong in this video. We'll discover the emotional stages she passes through, how you may utilize this to reclaim your power. Trust me, you won't want to miss. This is the first rule. Understand her. Intentions when she reaches out afterwards. Your initial reaction can be silence, excitement or confusion before you. You need to pause and ask yourself a critical question. Why is she reaching? Understanding her motives is the foundation for determining whether or not to interact. Without this clarity, it is all. It's very simple to fall into a reactive loop. That does not serve your best interests. Women don't reach out randomly. Message, hey, how are you? Comes with an underlying goal. Could be curiosity. Perhaps she's wondering, what are you up to? Because of your silence has left a gap, or it may be sorrow. Perhaps she understands she might have let someone of value slipped away on the flip. Her message could just be a means to see if she has your attention. Nevertheless, exerts influence over you to figure. You need to determine her motives. Context of your history. Has she been real and respectful? Has she showed any trends in the past? Either manipulation or inconsistency. A woman who genuinely values you will reach out thoughtfully and effort, whereas someone who simply craves immediate shift. She feels attention can send unclear or half-hearted. Here's the key. Don't assume. Each message is an invitation to pick. Sometimes she picks up where things left off. The intentions may be genuine but other. Sometimes she may simply be attempting to pacify her own ego by taking the time. Examine the scenario you are in. Consider yourself as someone who does not jump at every opportunity for attention, but instead values intentionality. Respect when approaching her outreach with clarity. You preserve control over the dynamic. You're no longer reacting. Respond intelligently, which immediately establishes the tone for any future interaction. 2. Does not respond. One of the most common emotional traps for males fall into when a woman reaches out. Responding emotionally is absolutely. It's natural to feel a flood of emotions, whether it be hope, frustration, or even delight when she breaks the stillness. However, if you let yourself to emotions determine your response, giving away your power. Let us say she delivers a casual message like, hey, how are you? If you have been, your impulse may be to respond swiftly, pouring forth all the thoughts and feelings you've had holding on to. But consider what conveys. It demonstrates to her that you have been waiting for the time when her message possesses enormous power over your emotions. Even if that's correct, you should never make it clear. Emotional control is the cornerstone of confidence. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back. Think on why her message triggered. Why are you experiencing such powerful emotions? I miss her and want her back. But is it her message validates something? You are feeling insecure. Understanding your emotions helps. You respond from a position of strength. Rather than, here's a useful hint on vulnerability. When she reaches out, do not respond. Immediately give yourself time to process if her message seems ambiguous, or consider whether it is even merits a response. If it is thoughtful and authentic, take your time making reply that is consistent with your values, and the goal is to demonstrate her confidence. The message does not describe your emotions or behavior, whether you reply or not. The choice should come from a position of self-respect and control. When she sees you are not easily swayed by her. Attention affects the dynamic in your favor. 3. The psychology of silence. How silence creates curiosity. Silence is often misinterpreted as a passive move, but in truth, it is one of the most effective psychological techniques utilized when a woman reaches out. Following a period of no touch, silence can convey a much greater message than any words ever could. But here's what catch: it has to be intentional, not "why is quiet so effective?" Because it makes space in that space. Emotions heighten, interest grows, reflection occurs when you don't respond right away or at all. She has left to fill the hole with her own thoughts. She wonders why you don't react, what's happening in your life, and if she still has a role in this. Uncertainty fuels her curiosity, and finally, her emotional response. However, quietness does not imply playing games or attempting to manipulate her feelings. Is about prioritizing yourself and demonstrating your life does not revolve around her.
Surrounding her messages while you stay silent. You are displaying emotional independence and strength are attributes that are much more attractive than neediness or despair. The effectiveness of silence depends on what you do during that time. If you are sitting around waiting, she won't notice your energy. However, if you are actively working on yourself and achieving your goals, developing confidence and enjoying life, your quiet becomes a reflection your growth, and when she detects it, you're thriving without her, which leaving a lasting impression is vital. Note that being silent does not imply that you will never. Responding implies you are taking the time to determine whether her message aligns with your beliefs and aspirations. If it does, you can participate from the standpoint of strength. If not, you're quiet. Speaks volumes for when it's worth. Responding during silence is a powerful. There are moments while replying is the appropriate move. If her message is considerate, truthful, and genuine, effort may be worth engaging, but the way you answer is as crucial as the decision to reply itself. The first rule of engagement is to keep your response calm and steady. Avoid extended emotional responses that may come over as desperate or too invested. Concentrate on keeping a tone that, as an example, if the emotional roller coaster she experiences, she sends a message saying, "Hey, I have been thinking about you." A simple response such, "It's great to hear from you. What's on your..." The intellect can set the correct tone, but stop at the surface level and examine her. What actions is she taking after your response? An attempt to have a meaningful discussion, or it feels like she's just fishing for attention. Genuine intentions are demonstrated in persistent effort rather than just a one-time message when you respond. Remember, you are not trying to win back or prove whatever your purpose is, to preserve your dignity and self-respect while determining whether she is sincerely interested. Reconnecting, if her motives appear, it is completely shallow and self-serving. Okay to disengage. Here's the bottom line. Responding is a choice and not a duty. When you decide to participate, do it with purpose, clarity, and if you chose, it's not worth your time and silence will speak for itself. 5. Establishing limits. Protect your energy regardless of whether you respond or not. Boundaries are crucial. Form of self-respect, and they guarantee that your energy is secured without it's easy to fall back into old patterns that don't serve you. Set boundaries so you're not cold or dismissive. You are establishing the terms which you are willing to engage for. For example, if her message appears ambiguous or half-hearted, don't feel pressured to, if she reaches out, reply enthusiastically. With serious effort, you can still maintain your boundaries by controlling the tone and tempo of the talk. Setting boundaries might also assist you. Avoid sucked into emotional games if she's reaching out to test your attention. Validate her ego and your boundaries. Make it apparent that you are not playing. This not only protects your energy, however, it also conveys strength. This is a practical example of self-respect. If she texted you late at night or sends an emotionally charged message, take your time before responding. May opt not to react at all. You are prioritizing your own well-being. Show her that your time and energy are valuable. Borders about. They maintain balance, ensuring that any engagement is on your terms and that you are not surrendering your self-worth. For the sake of attention. 6. Power. Making her wait. Why does she start to reflect on her actions? When she reaches out, there are no rules. That says you need to respond. Immediately or even on the same day. 1. The most underestimated strategies are the power of making her wait. Isn't about playing games or being manipulative, is about giving yourself time for processing and ensuring that your responses come from a position of clarity. Here's what people need. Strength. Value what isn't easily accessible if you jumped at the opportunity to respond within seconds. It transmits the message that I've been waiting for her. And outreach has complete control over your. However, if you take your time, it indicates that you have your own. Prioritize your own life, and you're not dictated by someone else's. The timeline that makes her wait also builds. Curiosity as she waits for your reaction, the more she begins to question. What's taking so long? Has he been busy? This mental loop keeps you in place. Her intellect frequently requires more than a quick response. Ever could, but this method isn't about withholding for the sake of it. Employ this time to productively reflect about her, intentions, and what you truly want. From the maybe her message merits a meaningful reaction, or perhaps it doesn't.
Regardless, making her wait provides you the space to decide what's best for you and when. When you answer, your timing will be reflected. Confidence, not hesitation, indicates that you are someone. With a life full of priorities, her message is essential, yet it doesn't control your behaviors with a sense of she will notice your self-respect. Respect 7. How to measure her. Effort. Not all messages are created equal. Sometimes when a woman reaches out, she's clearly putting effort, real attempt to reconnect. At other times, her message could seem superficial or like she's only testing the waters. The ability to assess her efforts is the important skill in determining whether or not to engage, and give close attention to what is the content and tone of her message. Hello, how are you, or is it? As thoughtful and specific as I have been. Thinking about us, I wish to reach out. The former may signify minimal. How to maintain your confidence and power. Effort, even a cursory attempt to test your availability, whereas the latter displays a level of vulnerability and sincerity, is another important factor to examine. Consistency. If she sends one message, disappears again, that is a red flag. Genuine effort is reflected in consistent communication. If she is reaching out with the intention to rebuild, trust, or reconnect, her actions will. Here's a practical tip. Match her words. If her message seems ambiguous or non-committal, you don't owe her an instead. Provide an immediate or thorough response. You can respond with something neutral. Observe how she follows up. For example, it's fantastic to hear from you. What's on your? This puts the ball in her court. Enables you to assess whether she's serious about the talk. By emphasizing on her efforts, you are not only protecting your energy, however, creating a standard for how you expect to be treated, and you're displaying that. You prefer genuine ties over superficial contacts, are a reflection of your self-respect. 8. The value of staying. When she reaches out, it is effortless. To allow emotions to take over, you may feel a burst of exhilaration, a flood of recollections, or even a sense of validation. But here is the reality. Staying grounded is necessary if you want to maintain control over the circumstances. Staying anchored implies not allowing her words to guide your feelings or behaviors, that she reaches forth with genuine curiosity or even manipulate your response or lack. It should come from a place of tranquility. And confidence is one way to remain anchored, is to focus on your own improvement. Priorities. When you are genuinely involved, personal aspirations, her outreach. It does not feel like the center of your in the world. You can approach the situation with perspective, perceiving it as one part of your life rather than defining factor. Another key to staying grounded is avoiding overanalysis. It's tempting to analyze every word she says. Message trying to figure her out. Intentions, but overthinking frequently leads to excessive stress and self-doubt. Instead, take her message at face value. Should you engage or remain silent, and reply or do not respond in a way that is consistent with your values? Groundedness also involves retaining emotional independence. Her reaching out might feel like an opportunity to reignite something, yet it is vital to remember that your pleasure is not based on, regardless of whether the connection leads, you are still committed to something worthwhile. Take responsibility of your personal well-being. When you stay grounded, you are not only defending, protect oneself from emotional volatility, also projects an aura of confidence, stability, and those characteristics are far more appealing than any impulsive reaction could ever. 9 reasons why recovering authority is important. When she reaches out, your dynamic relationship is at a crossroads. How you handle this event will determine whether you regain control or fall back into old tendencies. Regaining control isn't about dominating the circumstance. Set the tone for how you want to be viewed as moving forward. Control. Begin with self-awareness. Recognizes your worth, the value you add to any connection. If her message seems like an attempt to test your boundaries or modify them, feelings you have every right to disengage. On the other hand, if the motives seem sincere, you can interact from a position of power rather than neediness. Is one of the most potent approaches to regain control is through your acts rather of focused on her message. Focus on what you're doing. Are you pursuing your own life goals that boost your confidence, enhance your relationships with others? The more you invest in yourself, her outreach feels less like the center of your universe. Reclaiming control also entails establishing limits. She is used to you answering immediately, leaning over backward to accommodate. Now is the moment to change that. Pattern responds on your terms and does not be scared to assert your needs. When to walk away completely. Expectations. Here's the bottom line. Control doesn't mean manipulating the situation. Is about claiming your power. When you approach her outreach, confidence, clarity, and self-worth, you are recovering the dynamic, laying the groundwork for healthier interactions. 10. The greater picture. Your growth is more important near the conclusion of today. Her reaching out is not the most. You play a vital role in this story. The judgments you make at this moment should always reflect your growth and values, and your vision of the future moving forward. And focusing on oneself isn't simply strategy, is a way of life. When you emphasize your personal happiness and well-being, everything else crumbles into place. Her outreach may feel significant at the moment, but in the broad scheme of things, it is only a minor chapter in your trip. Growth is not about demonstrating anything to anyone. It's about proving to yourself that you can thrive regardless of the conditions, regardless of whether you choose to be most engaged with her message. The most effective statement you can make is to continue living a fulfilling life. Final thoughts. Here's a reminder. You are not the same person you were when relationship began. You've learnt and developed and evolved, and this growth is what defines. When she realizes you're prospering without her, sends a message, far stronger than any text or, in the end, the conversation. The ideal choice is one that aligns, appreciates, and shares your values. Journey. Whether you choose to interact, remain silent, or move on entirely, your progress will always be your biggest asset. Thank you. Please watch if you find this video useful. Remember to like and subscribe for more. If you like this post, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please remember to hit the notification bell, ensures you never miss an update. Meet you in the next one.